Welcome everyone to another amazing live stream here on our open source live Linux development channel. Actually, all I wanted to do today is quickly benchmark AMD's latest changes for improving some X2APIC performance with model-specific register writes and stuff that are serializing in contrast to Intel. So AMD optimizing some LFENs, serializing instructions away. And then after benchmarking and stuff and having some strange benchmarks, I realized, wait a second, on my Ryzen 7000, somehow X2APIC is not used, and I grabbed my log. It was actually never used since I set up the system, which puzzled me because actually some years ago live on this channel, I actually debugged and fixed X2APIC to use. A very popular patch of mine to this day. All the stuff that you support here with your share, like, and subscribe and Patreon stuff. And yes, I didn't pay attention. I mean, of course, it's only mostly performance and stuff, but who wouldn't want some extra performance for your embarrassingly parallel and virtualization support? So as you see here, somehow as a Linux kernel freshly booted or a couple of things, X2APIC RQ mapping. And if you Google this, of course, you find this often on the internet, like usually, but only non-AI, old-fashioned Google search, not amazing answers. Stack Overflow's usual stuff. Stack Overflow, people right there, you don't have IRQ remapping configured, you don't have IOMMU configured. I have all of this enabled. I checked this already, so IRQ remapping, IOMMU. The only thing is maybe they write here also, I think this is an old IOMMU, I believe that is AGP guard, I probably need to check. But the AMD one here is enabled, and Intel, but I have AMD. So that's my kernel config. The code is, as usual, not the most readable, right? So it's amazing, because if it would just work, we wouldn't have a YouTube video to make. So thank you very much, AMD, Linux, Linus Torvalds, Linux Foundation. Thanks that regularly stuff is not working, so we have AAA content here to make and have fun debugging it. Who wouldn't love some debugging fun? So I looked already into the code previously some time ago, earlier this afternoon. Was it kernel APIC? Was it here? Let's. So much to doing some other stuff, setting up the live stream, and then where have I been 1 hour ago? Probably here. Yeah, here. So the code is a little bit near. I wish the code would be more clear. Because the problem is here multiple things. So just guru meditating on the code, I don't even see what is the problem. So that is a try to enable X2APIC for some remap mode here that is passed in I believe it was probably, was it, wait, no, this one we just debug. Oh, so YouTube is whining about the bandwidth already. Thank you very much. Was it try enable? What even was the try to enable? Oh wait, this is wrong. Try to, no it isn't. Okay, let's see where it came from. Also probably next I need to switch to some more amazing editor. So that is IRQ remapping, Intel, AMD, IRQ. Actually, this is, what did I even Google? Ah, this is prepare. Sorry. Try. Oh, was it in the same file? Try is change. Yeah. Try. Enable. So it will be another live debugging session, which will require a couple of reboots. Static inline. Here, IR. So yeah, so that is enable. What does IR stand for? Interrupt remapping, probably. Yeah, interrupt remapping. It's like, yeah, naming, lowercase, uppercase, abbreviated, not. Enable interrupt remapping X2APIC. Disabled and stuff. So all these conditions are not met because we make it into this function. And wait, IR stat contains the remap mode or an error code, or the remap mode orin. Why do you store a mode orin? I mean, okay, positive mode, negative error code, but where is it? So yeah, we would need, the problem is, so we need to debug where that even is coming from. And the code is, so I wish, in my opinion, this could somewhat be better structured. I have this very often in this Linux kernel. Some stuff is coming from there. Yes, it's a kernel, it's a complex mess. Maybe because x86 is just a complex, maybe it's just a mess. I have on the to-do writing some more clean code. Like, in my opinion, it should not be. I understand what they are doing in general. I'm only, from my experience, I would not write it like this. And somehow, like, it is, of course, a little bit spaghetti, right? It's coming from there. And I understand, say, what's not into callback, some AMD callback. Can this be enabled? Is it there? But nonetheless, it makes this a little bit annoying. So what I usually do, I do the old-fashioned Linus Torvalds TM printf method, usually. Also, I need to switch off my tea, 1 second. Turned on some nice Canadian wild sugar here at this time, not to drink constantly coffee, especially at this day and age. Try to enable, so because otherwise the problem is I can't debug in QEMU. Usually I would debug in QEMU also with a kernel debugger. So, but really hardware kernel debugger is always a little bit near. I mean, yeah, you could JTAG and stuff, and you could JTAG accept on x86 easily. And anyway. So what they are, let's try to figure out what they're doing here. IR stat, right? So we would need to debug even what that is. IRQ remapping prepare. So I mean, this should not be so. IRQ remapping prepare should succeed, because otherwise, like, we are calling this function, right? So where is it coming from? It's calling IRQ remapping prepare. Also, it's a complex method, right? Prepare, supported, not, disable, Intel AMD, not, maybe, workaround errata. It's like BIOS enabled or user disabled. Yeah, there are some. It always looks so easy, but then it doesn't work, right? Like, if it would be so easy, then Linus Torvalds kernel would work for me. So yes, that succeeds. So if that is 0, like if this is an error, or this is negative, or if X2APIC not supported, then return. So we are there. Then where else? So this is IR stat. So that should be positive. So there's a question is, what is the return value of that? So that is some positive return value. So then, but it's constantly updating that, right? So if IRQ remapping prepare succeeded, try to enable that. So that is prepare here. Then the question is, so yeah, either it's failing there. I had grabbed that already previously, right? Prepare, there's an Intel and AMD file also with AMD IOMMU. So that is prepare, no, not IRQ remapping. IRQ remapping. I mean, maybe it is that. Actually, there is probably some common shared callee of Intel versus probably that one. Q remapping prepare. I should have. Oh wait, this one. Intel, no, this is only Intel. Oh, this is Intel. Where do you even look into that? Or is it in IRQ remapping prepare? Oh, maybe the proxy for the multiplexer for Q remapping pre. Ah, here is that. And so also the recurring theme, right? It's wasting so much time. Like, a normal user doesn't know what's happening. Normal user Googled. I Googled already. I found like Stack Overflow, like, you don't have this config options enabled. Like, you know, do I have this config options enabled? Thank you very much. So yeah, also spoiler, it's not always what's written on Stack Overflow. So yeah, and the problem with this stuff is, I mean, of course you can't, it's not user visible, right? Of course you can't always print everything, but like important stuff. Also, I mean, sure, you can't print everything, but then the code should be structured in such a way that at least they already print an error message, but not precisely why it's bloody not enabled, right? Because now we need to debug printf here through the stuff and to find out even which part doesn't work here. So that would be, because this should be is enabled config, so that is AMD IOMMU. So then it calls AMD IRQ ops, so AMD IOMMU. This is not even, so it tries to do that. I mean, this could fail, right? I don't know. The problem is with this kind of stuff, we also, of course not with that, where is exactly that coming from? Binary file matches, IRQ, IOMMU struct here is probably that one. Oh, I'm already in this file, maybe. So that would be that one here. Ah, here's AMD IOMMU prepare. Okay, it's just not in this file. Somehow, like, if you would do this in a more amazing programming language like C, maybe this would also not be defined like 2 times and back and forth. Like, sure, if I would use an even more amazing editor, then maybe it wouldn't need to grab it constantly. Probably this IOMMU AMD init. Prepare here. So that is if we have config RQ remap, which we have. AMD, so they do here go to state ACPI finished. But this is, that is funny. So that only does IOMMU go to state, IOMMU ACPI finished. I mean, does that fail? If this has some return, so if it has some return, either, the problem is of course that all those error codes are untyped, right? So everything is an int, so like what is it now? Can it be negative, can it be positive? Like, how should I know? But this is, so if it's any return but not 0, I mean, like, maybe I should switch to some NeoVim with some, here is state next. Why, what strange state machine? Like, each time I'm looking at kernel code, I'm surprised how low quality shitty it can be written. Like, what state machine is that now? IOMMU not found, init commandment is while init state, not state, next state. What? Are you kidding me? So this is some kind of state machine for start state, detect state, ACPI finish state. Oh my god. Early enable IOMMUs, x86 platform shutdown, IOMMU shutdown disable, init state IOMMU enabled. What the heck? There's certainly some extremely... So yeah, basically, okay, we got some overview, it's a mess. So probably I just add here some tracing stuff of print k, maybe just your function, maybe function line, and our value that we want to log, because I don't even know which strange, like which state fails here. So that would be function line, and we are interested in IR stat. So okay, here it should be. I mean, the question is like, yeah, just log it. So log it here, IR stat, so we have that here too. Probably map it here, log it here, then try to enable, so that obviously fails. Try to enable, try to enable APIC. Also, I mean, you might be wondering, if this is so broken, why did nobody else notice that? Most people use it only for high performance data center stuff, right? Like the other issue, like I think it's mostly consumer boards, at least for this issue we do not know yet, but for the other general AMD previous 59X, so previously we fixed that for 3950X and, or no, this didn't have X2APIC yet. I believe 3950X didn't, like Zen 2 didn't have a X2APIC yet. That is new in Zen 3, 1550X, I believe. It wasn't working. I think to this day it's not working on most consumer boards except with my patch, which yes, I will see. Now that it's tested for a year, like AMD and Intel, we tested it for a year. Now we can give you the patch. It's like I booted the latest 3.7 kernel with all those improvements on that next to me to my right, 1550X, and that worked. So that is a, like in general, this code does work on Zen 3, but not on Zen 4, at least consumer. So try to enable X2APIC. So try to enable, so we are here, so remap. So yeah, the remap mode, so the remap mode is not IRQ remap X2APIC mode. So I mean, basically here we can probably stop debugging. I mean, and they also, like Linus Torvalds 20 years ago, like said, kernel debugger are shit. Only complex non-working piece of something that he said 20 years ago. Like just Guru Meditate, like we are Guru. This is Linus Torvalds 20-year-old approved way of Guru meditating your kernel, like basically switching your brain on and single stepping with your brain through C code. So we get this lock here, right? So we get X2APIC IQ remapping doesn't support X2APIC mode. So I mean, we are here, so it should be X2APIC. Wait, no, it's disabled, so it is some other state. Okay. So then we have here. Wait, so basically the return code is not remap mode, IRQ remap X2APIC mode. So what complicates this further and why I can't debug it in QEMU is that in QEMU they like virtualization, they allow it anywhere. So because they have here x86 init hyper, I don't know, is this is it any hypervisor maybe? Because they have here on bare metal. So I would need to check if what precisely that returns. But anyway, so it's not some hypervisor, as I write here, is not architecturally supported on bare metal. But so using X2APIC without IRQ remapping. Also, I really hate these abbreviations, right? If I would read this out of context, I would not know. If I would read it out of context, without debugging this already an hour and knowing what I'm looking for, I would not know what this is now, right? So also pro tip, do not use these abbreviations all over, because then people who do not read this code every day wonder, like, what does IR mean? Intermediate representation? No, it means interrupt remapping here in this case, IRQ remapping. It's not architecturally supported on bare metal, but maybe supported in GES. So X2APIC without IRQ remapping. So anyway, so we are here. And then is otherwise if the hypervisor supports extended destination ID in MSI, that increases the maximum APIC ID that can be used for non-remapped IRQ domains. So we are here. So basically, it is not IRQ remap X2APIC. So basically, the issue should already be in this other file. Was it try enable X2APIC? This one, try enable X2APIC. Ah, damn, where it came from. Actually, we can grab for our print K. Which file did I print K? IO init. This was, I believe, this one was probably print K. Here is even some APIC print K for both. Anyway, amazing. There's our line here. So let's, before we kexec reboot, let's Guru meditate shortly and welcome everyone. Let's just see what comments we have there. Hola, bonjour, bonsoir. I'm not upset. I'm totally positive. Did you not understand? I intentionally said, "Isn't it amazing?" I'm not here and yelling. It's like, no, I've basically, yay! A software developers make sure they never run out of code and they never run out of work and get paid by introducing bugs everywhere. Is that not amazing? And we get rich with YouTube advertising. Welcome everyone, just joined. Yeah, single stepping through this Linus Torvalds approved debug message. The print K was inserted after the return. Is that okay? Yes, I want to know what is what the function returns. So because some of the stuff does not return some value like it's supposed to. It is very well be that some BIOS structures are not as amazing as they should be. But then the Linux kernel should also log what is missing there, because I have no idea what is missing there. I thought I run with X2APIC until I wanted to benchmark X2APIC improvements, and then I realized, hey, X2APIC doesn't even work for me again. Like every year, X2APIC doesn't work. Amazing. We will never, like this, my YouTube career is secured. Cheers. Let's try a more positive spin. Why be upset when you can enjoy fixing bugs? So where are we? So this should be the, I mean, should IRQ. So that should be something of that thing here. So that is the last return. So if that is, I mean, so the question is, did that already? So this was IR. So I don't know what stat means. Status? Like, I hate strangely. Was it a positive spin? I'm super positive today. I hate strangely named variables, but you know what? Seeing it positive, I love nicely readably named, understandable values. Positive spin. I would love if that would be nicer named. Anyway, so this should be positive, because if it would be negative, we would return here already. So we should be here with whatever value that is, and then save IO big entries. I mean, maybe one of those here fails. Like, no, actually, it should not, because it should log PR info. The question is this logged by default? Is PR info logged by default? I don't know. Because PR runtime debug is not. Maybe we need to enable it. What's the exact difference? Just like the name with current info priority. Okay, this should be logged. So this should not fail. Like if this, of course, this is only guru meditating in your head, like Linus Torvalds approved method, right? It could still mean you think it should be positive and not failed, but nothing like print K-ing that or PR info that and making sure it really is. So we should be here, or we are here, so that should not have failed because we don't see this message. It will also have returned. So yeah, we are still here because, so this save IO APIC entries should have succeeded. Local IRQ save, legacy pick, so that is programmable interrupt controller. That's the shit we have since probably an XT, right? Remember the programmable interrupt controllers? 82 whatever, 57, something of that sort, plus minus some numbers. Mask all, like legacy pick, mask all, mask IO pick entry, so that doesn't have a return value. So if this was non-negative, which is funny because they don't set it again, right? They return. So also like, why check? As far as I can see, this is dead code, right? Dead code elimination in your head, because it's probably not updated. But anyway, so nothing like checking your return values twice. Here, there, quality C code engineering. You can't top this. So the question is, so this must have also, I get the warnings, but I have 0 drop frames. Can't be that bad. I have, I mean, I'm live streaming with 8 Mbit YouTube. Why do you want wait on me? Also, I need tea. So, tea. Other people smoke mushrooms, I drink mushrooms. It's better for your brain that way. So try to enable, where were we? So IRQ mapping enabled. So that probably, so this must return, where even was it? I should have made bookmarks in VI. Was it prepare? No, enable. Oh wait, where are we? Oh wait, maybe I locked that. Wait, what? Was it already so strangely? No, I see where the problem was. Maybe you mean that. Is this wrongly indented or what? How did we do that? I didn't probably save. That's unfortunate, I didn't save. I mean, if we are lucky, we have an original file. Was it was APIC, right? Always some shit happening really. Debugs is live. Oh no, they don't have some ORIC file. That's unfortunate. What did I mess up now? Okay, let's rebuild that a second time. Just to see what I messed up there. Maybe that is what you meant. It's already enough. Diff this other source tree Linux without Control-C, please. What did I mess up there? Oh no, somehow it was right. Why does it look so strange in my editor now? Not sure what I've done there. Or maybe I pressed somehow DRX. Okay, apparently I messed this up, I believe. Potentially, maybe. Oh no, maybe I had the locking here. Ah, right, maybe. Okay, you're right. Maybe I had the locking there. Anyway. So yeah, I wanted this return value. So maybe that is what you meant. But also, like, don't actually also bad star, right? Did Linus Torvaldsen previously shout for people for not using scopes here? Because like single line scopes without block scopes, but yeah. I would not do that in my kernel, but they do. Anyway, so they do that here. IRQ remap enabled. I believe this was in another file, right? Should use bookmarks. The problem is I secured shell on another system, so I mean, of course, you could still do this, or could also NFS mount it. Was this one? If IQ mapping prepare succeeded, try to enable it. Should be this one, right? IQ mapping enable. I mean, even here, multiple things could fail. So the problem is, it could be not remap ops enables and no device. But even here, I know this enable can also this is also funny. like wherever I look, it's prone to bugs. So here they save the so they remap ops operations enable. Then if this enabled, so they don't use a return code, but if it enabled anyway with some global variable, they do IRQ remapping modify, and then they still return the return value if this was one. Like, I mean, probably there should not have been an error if it's then enabled, but they might still, I mean, okay, maybe this should return X2APIC mode. So yeah, here we are in prepare. So that is here, that it's assigned. It should have been assigned to the AMD if IO MMU IRQ ops prepared. I mean, it's not printing here some error. IO MMU default domain type translated. DMA domain TLB invalidation policies lazy mode. But the only thing is that this is much earlier, right? So here is X2APIC IRQ remapping doesn't support X2APIC mode, and then later maybe that is some order issue, because much later here it is printing AMD VI IOMMU and initializing some stuff. Maybe this is some initialization order, because it prints much later AMD IOMMU detected AMD IOMMU 2 banks. Like, is this just some... And also it prints a series as virtual APIC. As far as I know, virtual APIC is AMD's trademark name for, or at least internal technical whatever AMD marketing name for, I think AMD virtual APIC is X2APIC or more, or X2APIC plus some features, who knows. Whatever. So that is why I'm adding that print case, right? So basically, so if this config option is enabled and AMD IOMMU ops prepare, then assign that. Is it this one here? AMD, no, it's not that one. It is that one, right? Or is it here? Prepare. That is also some other file. Or was it in init? Yeah. So that is, but that is returning. Was this return value used? Because that is returning either this return value, like if that's some return, if the state machine stuff returns something non-zero, it's disabled and returned, and otherwise it returns 0, or maybe this should return X2APIC. This is so bizarre. But isn't that high quality? If that isn't high quality kernel code, then I don't know what is. Here, Intel IRQ remapping. So either here is IRQ remapping, prepare for Intel. And also, of course, it's different between Intel and AMD, right? So that returns, so that is prepare. So that also returns a lot of Ino device. X2APIC is disabled because BIOS sets X2APIC opt-out bit. Use interrupt remap no X2APIC opt-out to override the BIOS setting. Okay, but this also does not return. So where have we been? We will reboot in a second. Which was the other file? Too many files somehow. Yeah, I need the better editor setup. IQ. Oh, wait, this is also. What did I? So this should be IRQ remap. Let's see. Is this set somewhere in? So it's set in some places. And we can actually, so what is X2? So probably it's in an X2APIC mode. So that should, wait, this is somehow an anonymous enum or what? Are you kidding me? You define this in a bloody anonymous enum. That's amazing. Quality standards, certainly. People have this very high, very, very high. People, probably mushrooms not used for tea. It's probably when you smoke too many mushrooms. So, X2APIC, here. XT mode, 32-bit APIC destination ID requires GA mode, 138i RTE as a prerequisite. I mean, maybe the bloody BIOS really said something wrong. That doesn't make this code here much better. Here's also some interrupt remapping. What debug messages remapping? What do we get here? But here it writes AMDVI interrupt remapping, but much later than the other. It's absolutely crazy that it works on my 5950X, but not on my 7950X. I mean, yeah, BIOSes and stuff, but so why does the BIOS even have the power to? Why does the BIOS even have the power to break stuff? It's also that the stuff is so intertwined, right? At other places, they partially enable remapping, disable some stuff, don't use X2APIC. And maybe we should instrument all places where they set that. Okay, it's only returning. So here's AMD IOMMU enable. We have been here already, right? So this is where it. Here it's initialized here to X2APIC mode. So here's only IOM enable XT, whatever XT is. Control XT enabled. What does XT mode, GA mode? Hates these abbreviations. Anyway, it's not where it's assigned. So here is something bit IO, MMU, EFR, XT support shift. Is that the only place where that is assigned? init IO MMU1. This function glues the initialization function. Glues for one IO MMU together and also allocates the command buffer and programs the hardware. It does not enable the IO MMU. Copy data from ACPI tables entry to the IO MMU struct. Don't tell me it doesn't like something in the ACPI tables, which the kernel should still log, right? It should not require kernel developer like an hour to figure out why their X2APIC doesn't work. Check if this contains proper max banks counters. Having operating systems relying on random, low quality overseas BIOS programmers that often don't know what they're doing and randomly clobber everything together until Windows boots a little bit was really a bad idea. So it's parsing here bits and it wants here this, so probably it doesn't like some bit in the freaking BIOS. Because this should here be an H. What is H? Some table entry. H type of, that's unfortunate. Here, EIVHD header. GA 128-bit IRTE mode requires Compare Exchange 16. Okay. You really want to tell me that is also wired to some Compare Exchange 16B. You need to check that here in would there be a CPU info bit for that? Questions over questions. Let's just print we are here. Like when we are here, that we see this in the trace. So if that is not, then it breaks there. Are we still here? X86, you know what? I really should move to RISC-V. After 30 years living with x86, like my first father's friend borrowed 286 x86 is a failure and should be deleted. And please don't introduce ACPI to any more platforms. Like the overly complex x86 and ACPI are complete cancer, the cancer of the PC industry. Cool, so let's build this. Let's hope we don't have any typos in here, and it should be here so that, I don't expect, so I probably will error out somewhere here, and let's see what else do we have here. We'll be excited to see reboot, yeah, exactly. So this is hopefully not in TempFS. I hope I configured this correctly. Yeah. So usually I use my KExec helper. I can't do that now, so we need KExec, because then we do KExec Z directly here, what we freshly built. But the original init.rd, that is pre-init.rd, that is all built in, so we can use that one here. And basically reuse command line. There is. So I log out now. That air gives us that in the history. That probably should reboot like that, fingers crossed. So normally we would do shutdown. Actually on this system, actually I made a tiny little bit mistake. I think on this system shutdown actually works with KExec. Because that is a relatively new T2 installation. So we are at this functions. Actually here is actually some AMD VI using global. Actually we are here. Is this further than I enable? So we are here. Okay, let's compare this with what we so intentionally didn't build in TempFS to preserve this across boots, obviously. So we are here in 1838. Was it that one? No, I think it was, no, it was init, AMD init. Is it not here? Actually, let's be smarter and use two freaking terminals. $19.48. right one. 18. Wait, what did I even? Oh, I copied the wrong 1838. Didn't make because it didn't make sense. Actually, we are here. Ah, it didn't. So okay, it did. This didn't return. Okay, we are here. So we. But then this bit is not set. Should have locked that in to begin with. How many bits are this? So that would be IOMMU EFR extended support shift. So it's some. So then the bloody BIOS just sets. But this needs to be locked, right? Like it cannot be that every IT, like a normal IT administrator or supercomputer system builder would not even like debug. I mean, sure, they can call their Hewlett Packard Enterprise or Exacode Germany support consultant and have them step through the stuff. But so I guess, yeah, this must not be set, I guess. Which is, it's absolutely crazy. The crazy thing is that I enabled X2APIC in the BIOS, right? I mean, it's trying to use this code path and then it's not used its... Yeah, that's what you pay. This is also a premium board, right? That's a problem. I said this already a year ago. These are premium gaming. Like I spend more than I ever. It's my most expensive mainboard. By the way, I should not, like, I should even for a cheap main logic board, I should not have such issues. But this is a most expensive premium. Yes, granted. Maybe in the future I will not even do that anymore unless companies send it to me. Like I brought it on launch day to have launch day coverage. And then like 1 year later, you still don't have your X2APIC. And the worst is the gaming companies don't even care and will not even like, when I tried normal stuff, the companies didn't care, right? Remember when this board bricked its Intel V, whatever NIC, it's Intel Ethernet NIC, and like previous video nearly a year ago, instead of giving me the firmware to refresh it, which I then did with dark corners of the internet, they didn't know what I'm talking about, and then they wanted me to send the board in, which obviously for me is more work sending a board in, not having a board for 4 weeks, and question like what low quality, not repaired random garbage do I get back then. But the same for AMD, right? When for ASUS, when that year ago I wanted to downgrade the BIOS, which was worse, and they didn't allow me to downgrade, and so on and so on. It's like plus the ASUS board bricked my 15 and 50x second memory channel, but previous video. 1834. So the problem then is, what did it even complain here? Okay, this is just long when Z is specified type using long, but the argument has type U64 aka long alpha mod. So I already put in like a format specifier stuff is also a rather illness of the C language family stuff. It's like that. The question is, does it work if we just skip this and like just YOLO whatever? Ah, darn, this is not somehow I thought I specifically had logged out in a way. apparently not. Nothing like doing that twice. I already thought I did that so that it saves the shell history, but Arch X86. So usually I wanted to just complete and do that again. I didn't want to type it twice, but so then log out here and shut down here on this system again. On modern T2 systems, it works. Just on my older systems, I have not updated all the system files for just this reason. So yeah, if this is just, I didn't expect to find BIOS bugs, right? Or BIOS, like why would a bloody BIOS not copy all AMD reference implementation bits and fill out all the bits, except maybe Windows doesn't need that. I mean, I saw obviously there is a new BIOS here, like usually I don't like flashing BIOSes. Something of that sort here. Of course, flashing a BIOS most likely doesn't fix that. Which one even? Ah, here, this one here. That bit is 0. I mean, we could just try to ignore it and see if it blows up and catches fire. Do we have a video output? I have video output, which sometimes I don't with KExec for AMD GPU and other, or worse than AMD GPU and video reasons, which obviously I usually don't. Yeah, so updating the BIOS like 1 year later, I don't have the highest hopes that just some random BIOS update of Gigabyte will set some bit. Yeah, also they jumped from 13 to 21 for, oh, potentially UEFI vulnerabilities. Logo fail. Oh, wow, a month later they fix logo fail. Yay. Also, yeah, new Agesa for new Ryzen 8000 series. I'm running 13-ish. 13D. So I'm not sure if they somehow, this 13 is probably a little bit, yes, it's a little bit newer, but probably not much changed. So I kind of run that. Except, and like also usually I don't do this, right? Because it's like hours of wasted time. Of course, it would be interesting to see how they do this. The letters for Gigabyte are beta, and then like, they probably had EF whatever, and then they name it F13 without letter. So that's a little bit newer. The system sucks, but Windows, low quality Windows vendors. Also jump in version number, not sure why. I mean, maybe that they could release an F14 with the other Agesa, maybe, I don't know how they work, if they work in any kind of whatever. Yeah, the problem is this new Agesa could run random havoc. Did anyone already, like, how amazing is it? Like now the search starts, how does it behave on 7950X? Did any YouTuber already did some boosting? What? Boosting to 6 GHz was previously possible for my chip? What? That's at least not bad, but the problem is, are those values correct? Like Linux also at times displayed random nonsense. Okay, anyway, so let's see, but I mean, yeah, we could also patch the BIOS, but then we need to deal with hours of reverse engineering and bloody check some nonsense, and maybe even digital signing. So I guess it's fair to say that, oh, he's also done print K. Huh. Can never try print K variants. There are not yet enough print K variants in the kernel. There's always need some more. X2APIC. So should be alright. So let's see where else they use that. Nowhere else. They apparently only use that for feature test. Extended feature register. Okay, so EFR stands for Extended Feature Register. Amazing. Are those Z bits here? So yeah, let's comment this out and see if it goes up in flames. So anyway, so this was in IVHD header. Init IOMU all, iterate over all IOMU entries in the ACPI table, locates. Okay, we initialize IOMMU1, phase 1 process all IVH. The process you need to specs to what even the recurring abbreviations, right? Initialization vector or whatever. IVH address. You know what? The only thing that can happen is that it doesn't boot. Let's try ignoring just this bit and see what happens. I mean, then good luck. The problem is, and that's what I really would love if you could just on a professional level communicate with those vendors, right? But the problem is I understand that, I understand that you cannot just call quality engineers at ASUS and Gigabyte, right? Obviously, they're not extra coded, so. But, I mean, of course, if you work decades in the industry, you should have contacts all over the place. The only thing is that those PC vendors were historically very hostile to open source developers and mostly showed them a finger. Ironically, they are more friendly with overclocking YouTubers than with Linux distribution vendors. But regardless of open source and YouTubers, there should be some procedure, like back in the days. I mean, if you wrote IBM some sophisticated typewriter letter or email, you would eventually probably get that forwarded to, like, if you would tell them in your mainframe, like, hey, there are some bits somewhere, like not starting with in some IBM mainframe or PowerPC, there would not usually be some bits wrong or so. Yeah, good. Okay, actually, PowerPC actually also sometimes some bits wrong, but my point is, like, writing to Asus and Gigabyte in this modern times, like if you write to those people like, yo, some random support incidents, just like delete, or actually either delete. For example, theoretically I even wrote to Asus, remember they are actually violating the GPL with my X570 board. I probably should write them again because hey, you're violating the GPL and please give me the full source code. Like I never heard from them again, which obviously I should remind them and maybe even start some legal battle there with them. But like even if you write them, hey, you're violating the GPL on their GPL whatever email address, they don't respond. My point is, like, if you write, there should be a standard and reliable way to communicate low-level technical information and not like dealing with DAO user Windows, have you switched it off and on again, support nonsense. Anyway, let's hope that is now in our history, and it is. Then we can just shut down and hope it comes back, which I have already the feeling it will not. We have VGA mode reset. We have nothing yet. I mean, the problem, of course, is if this fails, it doesn't boot, right? Like if we oops this now. Yeah, cool, that does not work, I guess. Like, yeah, if your interrupt routing does not work, then obviously you don't have yeah, I have nothing. Cool, so that breaks it. Then let's press reset. Okay, just ignoring this bit is not enough. On some, maybe it's so then it is going to BIOS settings. Actually, we could do that, right? We reboot anyway. So then you don't. Oh no, not throwing my Steam Deck over because I'm live streaming from that. That's the precious USB dongle hell gets out of there. So you don't see the BIOS. Actually, I could connect a second capture dongle. If I just had. That is that cable. Let's see. Do I have a? I would need a. Why not use an Apple HDMI to DVI dongle for your PC? Still no BIOS. Entering BIOS difficult in 2024. I mean, I would say this should be locked. Like, why does it not go into bloody BIOS? This should be locked. The question is if it is there. The question is even where to lock that. Oh no, I'm in the BIOS. Let me dynamically connect this capture dongle and hope that my Linux desktop wants to. Dongles. It would not be a state-of-the-art live stream without dongles. Let's hope this USB-C stuff has enough bandwidth. Camera is this one, huh? Oh no, this is the wrong camera. That external. Okay, let's maybe. Why does this not video capture? Why does this not capture? Oh, now it captures. Amazing. Just needed some. So yeah, tell me, the problem is even that, are those even the right colors? Did it look like that? Or the colors, oh wait, somehow, why is my, oh wait, no, my, is now my, oh, my video is frozen. Maybe it doesn't have enough USB bandwidth. I think the audio still works, right? At least my VU meter is moving. So yeah, I have X2APIC enabled. The only thing, at least I hope I have, not that this is not enabled now, but no, it was showing in CPU ID. But even if it is now not enabled, so here's IOMMU. The problem is also the ASUS. Actually, people told me, yeah, when I said ASUS sucks, then get Gigabyte and MSI stuff. Now I got Gigabyte and it sucks the same. What I also really hate in those bloody BIOSes is that in AMD common BIOS settings, most of the stuff is repeated. So then you never know what option now takes precedence. So we have SRIOV. I actually really hate looking for those bloody options here all over. Do we leak any precious serial numbers or whatnot? I kind of already need to make notes where the stuff is. So IOMMU, where is even X2APIC? I'm really not enjoying looking for BIOS options. It probably does the problem is now I had to make OBS full screen to be able to read my own BIOS. Not that people already... Okay, people saying something. Anyway, full screen interface, because when I don't have OBS. Actually, I could, you know what would be much more clever would be to move my OBS to like here, because then I can see it here and can see the comments. Yeah, so video updating, but I think not my camera view, right, for some reason, but basically also somehow maybe USB bandwidth. That comes when you stream from a Steam Deck with only one USB port. So anyway, it should be somewhere. So also the bloody Gigabyte BIOS does not have a search, right? I really enjoyed, like, from all the BIOSes, I think so far, correct me if I'm wrong, but so far I've only seen ASUS, as much as I'm not in love with ASUS. Only ASUS had a search, which is super handy if you don't want to go through all the bloody menus to see where they were hiding X2APIC. Would of course be really hilarious if I don't have this enabled, but I really thought I had that enabled. In which BIOS option have I not been? AC, so this is all the standard stuff. I think it was not the most visible. It was somewhere. This is IOMMU. Here is a bloody common. Oh, all right, maybe it was here somewhere. Ah, it is really not in X2APIC for some reason. How is this auto again? So this was really not on. How can this not be on? Wow. Good. Then it is a live stream to hide in my archive. The question is now, will it boot? Because I have also, the first thing, because the first thing actually was today in the BIOS, to enable IOMMU, because also historically IOMMU did not even work on this board with Linux, which is, I was actually surprised today that that didn't IOMMU. But yeah, all of this would not, I mean, first of all, why doesn't BIOS disable modern features by default? And the Linux kernel should also lock it more. Like basically the Linux kernel did not lock X2APIC is not enabled. The Linux kernel locked IRQ remapping is configuration, which is somehow something entirely different, right? Like this recurring theme, this would not have happened if diagnostics would have been not so shitty. Let's plug out the USB. Okay, does this recover here my video capture? Okay, somehow. So yeah, that wanted a restart. Probably I am. Yeah, best without caps lock. So what did we get now? Okay, so then we have to partially take it back, but the error messages, the code's quality and remarks still the same. X2APIC. What? But now this changed to IRQ doesn't support. But this didn't change, right? Now we have X2APIC. Is this the same error message or did it? No, this didn't change though. So now we enabled it for sure more. But it still doesn't work. Here are the wonders of overcomplex PC and BIOS bugs. Also, yeah, auto options, right? Give me auto APIC, and then you get some old shit. Yeah, so the random changes are normal. It's always a little bit... it changed IRQ though, from 47 to... Can never have too many IRQs. Also, I need a 4K display. Yeah. Now, if I would just had the previous view, so something changed apparently, at least a little bit. We should verify that So ignoring the bed was not a good idea. Which size do I usually have? Something like that. This is AMD init. So ignoring that was not the solution. But basically, somehow the Linux kernel should warn that if the CPU should have X2APIC, it's not enabled, but remember in the good old days when you could just override PCI interrupts in your operating system if your BIOS usually programs some random nonsense. So basically, it's probably the same, but let's better double check that it's still the same here. That hopefully should boot. Actually, we might want to go into the BIOS again anyway. Yeah, that is somehow disappointing. Yeah, the problem is now that I have this on the capture dongle. Don't have KVM switch output. But it came back up. Yeah. It is still the same. Despite enabling X2APIC more, that didn't help. Yeah, comment there. It's really funny we blame the BIOS when really should be a handshake with capabilities and needs, and the kernel selects what it. So yeah, I don't agree with this design. The problem is, of course, that this is kind of this Windows kind design that Microsoft and the BIOS vendors. I mean, the funny thing is that the BIOS vendors even break shit for Microsoft Windows often enough. But this is basically that we allow. I mean, of course, Intel and AMD should know best how to operate the hardware. Just that, then again, their stuff is constantly buggy and messed up, right? And I agree, we should not need to rely the BIOS. How did this? So this should video capture. Somehow this does again not video capture for USB bandwidth marginality reasons, maybe. Cannot get frequency. Something. Warning. Unlikely the volume range. Capture. Let's see, just not. So that is actually okay. The Linux kernel code is just convoluted spaghetti, but in general, apparently, does what the BIOS tells it to do. Just this is not helping me very much. Ah, right. Maybe the video capture works on the BIOS when the resolution is lower. Maybe then the USB bandwidth is enough or some. Are we in the BIOS? Maybe we are if we just could get video capture now. There we go. And hey, this time even with moving, with me moving. So what do you see? You see this capture. Okay, so yeah, this didn't help much. It should be enabled, but somehow isn't fully recurring. Where even was it? All right, I think it was in AMD common options. Here somewhere, right? Wait, we didn't. Why did this not save? What? Did I not save that enough or what? Did I? Ah, darn, did I save exit without saving? Ah. What a dull mistake. But also, anyway, a vision, right? What the problem is that so many popular gaming tip YouTubers, they just tell you, ah, darn. They just tell you their PC gaming knowledge without, like, for the most part, they are not really pushing true innovation, right? Only faster GPU or stuff. And like, I would really hoped that we would have much better IT systems. For example, I said this before, in my dream microkernel stuff, there's even boot override. Boot override is somehow strangely hidden here. Where even? Okay, fine then. Do we really not see boot override here? Where bloody is boot override? Ah, here. All right, we also need. So, like, we have so much computing power, yet everything is so PIC-bugs broken. I would really enjoy it if on a PC like this would be so virtualized in the meantime, virtualized yet high performance, that you could, from the BIOS, go, like, you could control the firmware while the OS is running, sync open firmware on Sun, decades-old Sun on steroids, where you could control stop-write while the operating system is running, at least partially, sometimes a little bit. It would really be amazing if that would fully work these days. Also, by the way, the last time actually this didn't, I mean, maybe this is even still really broken because, yeah, actually, maybe we are back to the drawing board that is also so sad and depressive. So somehow with X2APIC and IOMMU, I believe actually this was known to be broken with this, right? So, no, actually something happened. Will we? All right, yeah, so this stuff timed out. So yeah, actually, so that is actually, it is crazy that I also partially pressed reset. I hope it resets. But anyway, so yeah, it would be amazing if the BIOS, if we would, I mean, the problem is of course with running low-cost BIOS, low-cost, low-quality code, like always, like a virtualization layer. The problem is, of course, then you have the super buggy BIOS as your virtualization layer. On the other hand, you also don't want this. But I mean, if that would be open source and would like be kind of nearly bug-free, this would be really amazing if you could. You don't even have an API to change BIOS options from change BIOS options from the operating system, right? If for each nonsense you need to go in here. That would at least be the bare minimum to, like, instead of having professional ways to change, like systematically and scripted and stuff, change that while the operating system is running. You have each vendor some low quality graphic stuff that even has redrawing glitches and stuff. Okay, yeah, so that actually did not work since the launch day, so that is maybe even why I had this disabled and partially forgot about this brokenness. Now the question is, does X2APIC work without IOMMU? And maybe that combination I was previously using. But then the question is, does the Linux kernel allow that? Because theoretically there is no X2APIC without IOMMU. So previously I had this actually disabled, which auto is disabled. Amazing BIOS options. So yeah, we're not really, so we actually would need, what the problem is, so the other next problem is that we would need to debug since the launch day of this board. This is also so sad. Like theoretically I would need to buy, actually, no, I don't have, no, yeah, I would need to buy a second board. I don't have a second AM5 board, unless I ping my neighbor, Debo, or so if he can borrow a board for a weekend or so. But the last time he wasn't the most responding when I asked for the AM errata bug. If I can borrow another board. So that will probably boot, I think, the last time. So yeah, somehow there's some other stability marginality with IOAPIC, IOMMU versus X2APIC on this platform, which is also silly. Like there's basically nothing that is not partially broken on PC platforms, right? The question, of course, is now, does this really not work now due to... So this still doesn't work because... What is now? Now it doesn't work because we don't have I/O. Like it's like pest or cholera, right? Like either one stuff doesn't work or the other stuff doesn't work. And I mean, it's also like you can enable X2APIC, but then the Linux kernel doesn't use it because it wants an I/O menu, and that combination also doesn't work for me. I mean, with this kind of bugginess everywhere, it's really surprising that we can run anything on modern IT, right? Everything is so low quality engineered. Just look at all the Intel and AMD erratas and speculation marginalities. That and then this other more normal bugs here. You really have to wonder that there's anything. So let's just straight KXXZ. So here it is. It's really a miracle that anything works, right? I mean, obviously on Windows and macOS anyway, but like even if all the Linux stuff works around all this stuff. So yeah, next but that is even more annoying. Like good luck debugging why IOMMU and X2APIC does not work. Did I even switch? Maybe I didn't even switch. Did I switch back to this view? Maybe I forgot, sorry. Now we get, yeah, so now we get here -38 for, so yeah, now we get here indeed other error codes for no IOMMU. Is 38, maybe -38 might be no enosys, maybe. So yeah, that is really a pain. I wonder why they don't allow. So I don't have the problem on 5950X on AM4 because there my IOMMU works, right? So this other combination obviously also has some, maybe the whole IRQ routing does then not, maybe this, let's boot with the highest verbosity, maybe, all right, now I need that there. Did I switch to, I switched to that. Maybe exactly that fails here on this board, right? Exactly what we are debugging, the IRQ remapping, maybe just that fails here. Let's see what happens if we... But so basically, the irony is I hoped like, surely, I actually wanted to boot with more. Oh wait, did I? Wait, what? This wasn't enough, we need to, I forgot to re-enable this in the BIOS. Somehow it should also not be necessary. I mean, not only that I would want to dynamically virtualization like switch stuff with the BIOS. I mean, everything could be, there's so much amazing stuff you could imagine, and then we sit. Why keeps family calling me? Do they not know that people work at this time and age? It's only 2041. So yeah, I just enabled it here wherever it was. Well, there was IOMMU. It will of course fail. IOMMU out from auto enabled. Yay. Oh, from auto to enabled broken. But what I said 100 times also, it is really not fair that not even for cheap, but especially for overpriced components that we waste, like professionals waste their time with not working stuff. It's the most expensive board, 630 or so euro when it was new, in the meantime a little bit less. Especially on such high-end boards, everything should just flawlessly work and not like 1 year later stuff not working. And even for Linux, Linux is the #1 professional and server operating system. I wanted to boot with a higher local level, 6 even. So it is not fair to consumers or other professionals. So basically, that we need to waste our time with this stuff. So also, yeah, the Linux kernel, it prints boot logos, but no scrollback. So basically, best would be to be able to log this stuff. So clearly, with IOMMU, something like maybe specifically this IRQ remapping does not work. This will be, of course, even more painful to boot through all this convoluted IRQ remapping code. The question is it a Linux kernel bug? So yeah, this stuff terminated because probably timeout or who knows what. Yeah, the Linux kernel also gives really bad debugging options. So yeah, USB does not work, so I don't have USB. Amazing. This board does not even. I'm not sure if that board has a serial port to log this even on serial. My other workstation board had that. Oh, what is here? Serial, there's something timed. Hey, now we have USB. Now we have USB. Yay, the future is no. But the question is, we don't have NV. Oh, there is actually some NVMe, but so yeah, this NVMe stuff times out. So the IRQs do not work, right? And so I did not edit that to full breakage. That is Linux proper, right? So yeah, basically, it will probably be unusable. Like even I never let this finish so much. Like if it's so broken, I usually reboot. That is of course extremely painful now. I don't have the highest hopes. I mean, we could load this BIOS, by the way, already. Which one should we even use? Maybe this one here. I don't have the highest hopes. Like at this speed, like if each, I mean, probably not each transaction. That would be even slower. Maybe each bulk of transaction. Let's say the Linux kernel queues there like 64 transactions or stuff, and then like maybe the whole stuff times out. Like rebuilding a kernel at that speed obviously will be 386 like. It's still also UDEF ADM stuff. So, but you know what, we could, I mean, if we can just boot it like maybe in 5 minutes, we could at least log the dmask without a serial port, if this ever boots. But again, this is a combination of between Linux kernel and also, by the way, this is somehow not fully full screen. I also don't particularly care who to blame here. Oh no, this is maybe mostly full screen. Anyway, fact is between AMD Gigabyte and the Linux Foundation, a year later, like over a year later, this stuff still does not just work. And it is silly that we might be the only ones who care to debug that. So manual, let's see if this has this. Sometimes those boards, even some AM2 plus board I recently had in my hand here from a decade ago had a serial header. Don't have the highest hopes that this has a bloody serial header though. I don't want freaking Munich, I want a bloody normal manual, I think. Like, yeah, vendors, even the normal manual is in the middle of the page. All right, you don't even see that. Hey, now we had mode setting. Yay. Maybe it does not. What do we have here? Display ports. Do we also have desktop camera? I need to sort this. External It's still freaking booting. Do we have... Still don't have Ethernet though. Yeah, the thing is, if all... I wonder if all IAQs don't work. That is the question. Maybe all... Yeah, but that's the next thing to see, right? What is even... I never let it boot so long, because obviously usually I don't have time. So here we have some ITE Super I/O. So PCI Express switch, all PCI Express stuff, AMD chipset, M.2, PCI Express, USB, SATA, M.2. Like you have SATA and USB and stuff, but you don't have a freaking serial. I mean, I just wanted to say you could demask over USB just if your USB interrupts don't work. Demask over USB gadget doesn't help you. So yeah, I mean, here's some Super I/O bus, but yeah, I don't see there a instantly an Ethernet some. So yeah, it boots really slowly. I really wonder if like each NVMe queue transaction timeout thing. Oops, now I pressed this some shit. What did I do? Shit. Oh, I hate it when this happens. Where did I even... What did I press here? Darn. Oh, this looks strange. What have I done? Okay, fine, whatever. Okay, there's the audio codec, wonderful audio. Yeah, it's like they have bloody RGB LED headers, but not, it's like, yeah, priorities. I mean, maybe I should not buy gaming boards anymore. M.2, USB 3.2 Gen 1 hub, Q flash. I mean, I didn't find it with a search, but you never know. CPU, DRAM, so let's there. Noise sensor. Yeah, it has a bloody noise sensor, but not a bloody serial port, right? Priorities, reset switch, reset. USB, this fan. What is my boot doing? Why does this look so strange now? I have the feeling this will not fully boot. Did just something... Yeah. Why does this look so strange now? I have the... Somehow I changed... Why did this change? Ah, list mode. There we go. I changed the mode of this thing, apparently. Okay, we are at Ethernet. The question is, do freaking... Ah, Ethernet works, maybe. Hello? No, it's hanging. Maybe no, it's waiting for disk writes. Waiting for the next batch of NVMe. So yeah, some interrupt routing stuff is fucked up. Thank you very much. That is also, now that I remembered the details, why I was running without that. So yeah, so many freaking fan headers that no normal person uses, but not a bloody... Not one bloody serial header. They even have temperature sensors here, right? This is, by the way, very nice that they draw the temperature sensors on here. I mean, it's funny that it has a bloody noise sensor, by the way. Hey, we have some login. We have some login. Stop the presses. Ah, here we are in. We are in. Oh, there's also some oops. Ah, DRM atomic. Oh wow. Shit, we have so much. Maybe do we have so much that? Oh no, we don't. We need to save this somewhere. This will probably hang a while. To time out and okay, let's. It's like, yeah, I never waited that long to boot this nonsense. So basically, so what is now our non-working APIC? So yeah, now we have boot, but X2APIC enabled by switching to X2APIC ops. Yay, just that they don't work. Cool. Yeah, that is so sad. Yeah, so it's switching this apparently. So yeah, it's switching this routing to stuff and then it doesn't work apparently. I, of course, don't know who to blame here. This is an even... I thought I need to only debug a very small config enablement thing. Obviously, this interrupt routing does not work as everything times out here. Do we have... Like even DRM is this filter run init U code? Okay, fine, I'm not caring about that the most right now. What are all the other oopses here? CPU, okay, it's also atomic commit, probably. So this stuff is probably the result of interrupts not working, I guess. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, probably all the waiting for interrupt stuff doesn't work. Hey, this has LSIRQ. So I didn't save LSIRQ from the other one. So okay, some interrupts do work, but apparently maybe not all. Even ironically, this stuff has here, this gets some IRQs. I mean, it has registered some. Not all are 0. I expected more arrows here, actually. Here is this stuff. What is this? DS software? Is this some bloody gigabyte software download chip, which I may or may not have disabled? So yeah, I'm surprised that here my arrows for this not really working very well. And this also pulls, also, so I mean, is only NVMe not working? Somehow, I mean, this is funny that the only arrows I see here are, I mean, maybe this also should be locked with error, because without error it's easy to overlook, right? And this should be cached, right? Right now it works, but it might be cached. So I don't even instantly see what's not working here now. So that a difference of what I'm doing with SSD is I SED the timestamps away, because obviously they all differ, and even then dynamic memory allocation differ. So we're not much further. I mean, with this level stuff, progress is slow. It's now switching to APIC routing. Wait, I'm diffing. We need to diff 2 is old and 1 is new, I believe. Or no, 2 is 2, 1, yeah. To not be confused with it. So basically I would want to find out what is different here now. The problem is, of course, when all... Yes, this is also asynchronous. So these are the IOMMU groups. Did it add this previously already? Yeah, previously I also booted with IOMMU, right? Except when it didn't work. So yeah, slightly different. I mean, not that different? Or actually might also just be the other order to... Oh no, it enumerates them differently here, PCIe port. So 2.1 was previously 26, so this is... So yeah, mostly the NVMe stuff times out for whatever reason. It's crazy. I expected this full of errors and interrupt routing and whatnot. It is also, I mean, okay, this AMD GPU stuff also times out a little bit. The question is, how well does it work now? But I expect like all disk I/O will work like shit now or not. How to best test this without instant leak? I mean, let's see how long this mounting is instant. That's surprising. What even is broken here? It's not easy to debug something. And you don't even know what. No, this hangs. Did I have any typos here? Do I write this to some... So here, NVMe sucks. I think I previously messed already with changing the... I mean, I don't think it's some bandwidth allocation stuff. I think I changed the bandwidth allocation stuff already. All right, do you even... Oh, you know what? You don't even see. I should have... I did forget to switch it to that. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, 97, it's as fast as a bloody floppy. Hey, but that works. So it's mostly that NVMe and then plus whatever, so some... But yeah, how to even debug that now, right? This is... First we would need to find out which IRQs don't even work. So yeah, basically, yeah, if you look into this complex level stuff, that the problem is, if it's your own complex stuff, then it's of course usually much easier because you know what you were doing. You don't know how it was designed. You would need to read all the specification. You need to understand all the specification, which would already be hundreds of pages to read. Then you would need to debug through all the stuff, like where goes that wrong. Yeah, sorry, I didn't change the display earlier. But yeah, I guru meditated over that. So yeah, we're not really much further. This is basically broken. But the thing is, unfortunately, as seen here recurrently, the PC stuff is recurrently just broken, full of #peak bugs. We mounted that, right? I wonder, yeah, I can't even benchmark that now. I mean, I but I mean, obviously it makes no sense to test something. Let's basically create here IO, MMU, IO, X2APIC. Let's save some stuff, then we can later compare it without rebooting this slow stuff here. I mean, it did get here some IRQs, right? Even for, so this is, I mean, it gets here some, right? It's not like it gets none. Yeah. At least we don't have, by the way, now it's changed, so much failure already, changed to the wrong scene. Yeah, what else would we need? LSPCI, actually, you know what, LSPCI both shows IRQs, or even shows IOMMU groups. You know what? LSPCI. Probably this thing runs forever for all the NVMe timeouts. Yeah, not forever. I mean, this LSPCI might be a good thing to debug. What else would we need? I mean, we could dump the dmask again, so I dumped it already. Yeah, all the best thing, I mean, like if I would have had an infinite budget, I could just buy another like ASUS AM5 board and see if that occurs there too. If this is a one board or one vendor, because yeah, this shit is flow like floppies. I mean, at this rate, I could also, where's my precious floppy? Here, at this rate, ah shit, my precious floppy was on a power supply, not that it erases my precious floppy. Wow, does this run long? Yeah, I mean, I could try some, I mean, it should not be some, what is it called, bitfication? This PCIe lane distribution switch stuff, bitrification. Yeah, I mean, I could flash the BIOS. The only problem is it again wastes hours, right? Flashing the BIOS, dialing all the stuff back until it's maybe stable. I mean, yeah. So the thing is, I will not even do a proper shutdown now. This takes so long. So this should probably be, should this be instant? Oops, this is how I had pressed you with wrong focus. So would we, actually we have already, the problem is now I can't be sure, it's extremely error prone with this video capture. I thought this reboot should instant reboot. Does it not reboot force? This is not instant. The problem is the video capture is now I don't know if it's stuck in video capture or maybe I press reset. Okay, no, I don't have. Of course, not ideal here with this. Yeah, now we have here. let me change my OBS to some full screen somewhere. So there is it. Yeah, what bad luck here with this stuff. I will only do one thing, and maybe what time do we have? Only 21 at night. What could possibly go wrong? Where was it not even? What did I want to change? I wanted to change okay, X2APIC anyway doesn't work, right? Whatever compatibility means, by the way. Do you want compatibility? X2APIC, X2APIC or auto? What of this amazing choices would you want? Yeah. The thing is, I don't do everything instantly, right? Before I say, why do I debug each problem? Like, basically, I ignored this problem also for a year. And, darn, I did this wrong. I ignored this for a year and hoped someone else would do it. Where's even now we have freaking drop frames, so thanks Vodafone, stocks is failing, shit for nothing. Here, the boot override. But always when I hope like it is fixed in a year or so, it's not getting fixed. So what changed here between IAQ what? Are you kidding me? Why is this IAQ negative? For what did I sign up? That's probably a problem. I think that might be a problem. I don't think negative IAQ will work. So maybe then everything routed through the IO menu doesn't get an interrupt. Also, would be my theory. I mean, all the other stuff looks fine. What would be even cooler if that would include, like, it's LSPCI is probably peeling all the information from this in Proctogaz anyway. It would be cool if there would be in parentheses a counter of total IRQs. Yeah, that is somehow AMD IO MMU Linux negative IRQ is somewhere else. But like, we started debugging, like, good luck even debugging this, like, where do you even want to find this now? I will just flash the BIOS. Some person said anyway it was boosting. I mean, eventually, I mean, As much as I hate wasting my time like that, I already flashed it sometimes, and it didn't even become worse, but where even was it now? Did I close that apparently? I just wish also the software AG members had proper changelog. Because now it's like, yeah, you can hope, but you can never be sure because they don't have a proper changelog. Where would be the IRQ here? Yeah, good luck finding that. Request setup MSI. The following function initializes the MSI interrupts for all I/O memories in the system. It's a bit challenging because when it becomes negative. There could be multiple I/O memories per PCI BDF. But we can call PCNL MSI only once per PCI device. Requests write IRQ. AMDVI. This looks like this could be the place. Doesn't look too buggy on the first glance. Yeah, Guru, to no one's surprise, Guru meditating a kernel is expensive and time-consumingly expensive. The question is, so that's 26. IOMVI, what is disabled? No, L2. So yeah, the IOMU is, yeah, it's funny that actually the IOMMU is enabled, right? It's just not X2APIC. I already boot with... No, I don't. Only MDP state, not IOMMU. I wonder if booting with default type path-through or something or off would improve that. So that were those interrupts. Actually, wait, did I 22nd in this or no? So here it's 26, 27, but I mean, here's no negative. Maybe, I mean, one need to be careful. Maybe it's only LSPCI doing some nonsense. So in this, in this working, why is he not? Okay, here's only one actually. So that is AMD VI. Doesn't say IOMMU though. So this is a 26. I mean, maybe that is just LSPCI erroring out. We need to be careful. Because it's changed here. It's still 26, but we have now 3 instead of 1. And somehow this is also, so that is non-working, looks more logical than because we have not only one here, PCI 002. I mean, we could actually grab for that PCI. Change it somehow. Fun. Why did this change? Why does this LSPCI not output the whole thing here? What I would basically do is maybe even grab that here, because this list is really not that easy to navigate. Here 002 Edge IVI. Yeah, somehow we have here more. Need to read the source code. Maybe I should read the specification for the AMD. AMD MMU. Default is DMA lazy. Certainly is one last try to. I mean, maybe we should even change our T2 configuration to default to path-through. Once I had AMD GPU or some other GPU failing. Once I had even Wi-Fi failing, maybe even Intel Wi-Fi on some system. Intel Wi-Fi failed for me with IOMMU. Maybe even randomly, like maybe after some traffic. Maybe even the M Wi-Fi, the Marvel Wi-Fi thing also once. Like, I had a couple of times stuff failing due to IOMMU enabled, so. Maybe this was PT pass-through. Pass-through is configure DMA to bypass. But that is, does this only affect DMA? Should this? I mean, it's worth a try. The question is, if we turn it off, Does it affect X2APIC? I mean, for normal stuff, I don't need it. But do not initialize probably means X2APIC will not work then. Here's config error only for pass-through. So, okay, pass-through 1. Also thousands of thread frames brought to you. Not brought to you by quality, not quality. Vodafone's failing doxes. Actually, why don't I boot with mitigations off? 670. Might work like this, right? Yeah, that is frustrating. Like this is frustrating. As we have this already, then yeah. Let's turn it on again. Hope for the best. I don't have the highest hopes. After this, I guess I will try to flash the BIOS anyway. So where was it? Was it CBS? Here it was. I see it as a thumbnail. Local APIC there. The question is, I remember I probably left on right, so that was somewhere either here. Here. Of course, it's miscellaneous. Of course, IOMMU less important than 3D mark enhancements, that nobody knows what 3D mark enhancements like also 3D mark 01, right, or whatever, of enable legacy benchmark enhancements for enhanced performance of older benchmarks. It's like dude, what fucking BIOS options even freaking exists? You can't make this performance. What was the other crazy performance bong? Bing bong? Performance bong? Previous video? Alright, is it even the right 6, 7? It's not even the right. I edited that one, so that is IOMMU pass-through, mitigations off. Let's hope for the best. Again, not the highest hopes, but there's, by the way, some can't derive routing for. Wait a second, that is even our int A not connected. Yeah, that's even our. Did we previously see that? Probably. How did I overlook that previously, or was it previously not there? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's our problem. Not sure why, but yeah, sometimes, I mean, of course, I would not even blame that on my YouTube attention span overlooking that. Because if you stare on nonsense the whole day, I might have anyway overlooked it. Also, yeah, I see this there on a half screen sized OBS, but yeah. Yeah, there it is at least. Good that we. I wonder how many people leave me in the comments below. If you watch this in the future, if you go back to the future, if you go back in future, and watch that now later, like 1 hour later, or 2, 1.5 hours. Nah. But it's absolutely crazy that it works. Also, like in previous times, we could have scrolled back, right? Like the future is now Linux kernel, no scroll back anymore, but it's so difficult. Okay. because previous video, right? And previous fossil youngsters, young Padawans here among you. In previous times, back in the good old and golden Linux days, you could freaking scroll back your frame buffer to see actually the logging, but that was scrolling text is too difficult for single address based monolithic Linux kernel programmers. So they removed or disabled text scrolling because it obviously is too difficult for kernel. Cheers. Where's even my, oh, here. So yeah, I guess that is basically, we can kind of sort of stop here. We finally have seen, but that's also, maybe that's also a result, I re-enabled logging, right? As mentioned in the previous video, due to some websites, silent graphic, silent boot, quiet boot like Windows and Mac OS and no mode set flickering and stuff. I tried to make T2 more silent and less flickering, but I hated it. Number one, like basically it has zero functional benefit, and like form follows function. That form of quiet and no flickering doesn't follow function, and that is why I actually re-enabled most important logging. So it is actually possible that a year ago I didn't see that because maybe the Linux kernel did not even print that due to default booting quiet. And I mentioned this just some days ago, 2 or 3 or 4 days ago here on all the live videos. I re-enabled the most important logging stuff because I, as a professional, T2 is just an vanilla working non-configured vendor to death and just triple amazing Linux distribution and high performance and stuff and embedded and server and desktop and everything that it's for professionals. And this quietness and not seeing what's going wrong is exactly what I hated with macOS and Windows, and that is why I also hate them with all the other Linux distributions, and that I was just re-enabled that recently, and maybe that's already paying off. Of you boot, it doesn't work, and you don't even see, like with Mac and Windows you would need to reboot, you would need to boot with verbose. Good luck, by the way, with that with Windows. And macOS you in previous times had verbose boot. I'm not sure if you can still enable this somehow, but anyway, case in point, error messages, diagnostics, like currently even with the initial thing, but even now, failed. I can't read that because what is even other controllers? This is just sound. Yeah, not sure how much better that booted now. Yeah, probably Zen VMware. Probably it works as shit as previously. Yeah, logging in, like even logging in, like booting and logging into an SGIO2 previous video is faster and more stable than latest and greatest Zen 4 x86. Overly complex. Even Intel and AMD can't do it error-free, and all the other surrounding platform stuff, especially from overpriced, low-quality overseas vendors that do not know what they are doing because they only use Windows and have no idea how to do quality software. Yeah, I only wait here. I want to see the interrupt thing, right? But leave in the comments below, what is your experience? Do you use Windows, Mac or Linux? And what is your experience with hardware quality and bugs and performance and other full feature completeness marginalities? Oh, come on, NVMe, timeout, pull your queue already. Give me my shell. All I ask for is a shell. All right, you also don't see this because I forgot to switch. I will anyway, let's see here, here's one USB. I need to find my usual, so why is here so much dust on my desk? I need to find my usual BIOS update USB stick. Of course, as usual, and others also I need to sort this away. This doesn't even belong to my desk. Nothing like earning money, people watching me sorting my desk. That needs to go somewhere else in part stock. Why is there dust? Why does dust always accumulate on my desk? Okay, my regular USB stick is not here. I hope I find it somewhere else. Or I use another one. The problem is most of my other USB sticks are not FAT formatted. This is why I only have some old FAT formatted USB sticks here. Can we also boot already? Come on, give me, all I wanted was a login. Why does this not allow me to... Why is this so dead? Caps lock works. Why do USB interrupts currently not work? But previously also initially it didn't work and then it required some typing, but who knows what is now more majorly messed up. Okay, that was a fun boot. I mean, the good thing is we should have it in on the SSD already. This should, I mean, okay. No, it should probably be already locked because it is, this lock is flushed and, or direct and flushed or whatnot, both or. Yeah, anyway. That is the state of IOMMU and X2APIC on at least this AM5 Zen 4. Zen 4, right? I lose overview. 1000, 2000 was one plus, 3000, 2, 3, 5. Yeah. Oh, now it switched. Now we had some USB interrupt. Okay, somehow right now it is, okay, with DMA pass-through it is somehow, maybe this error was previously not printed because somehow I have the feeling now it's, with IOMMU pass-through it is even more broken, or differently broken because previously I could log in. Anyway, the PC master race amazingness continues, aka PC not master race, low quality. Anyway, that's it for this video. It was amazing to sit through this random pain with you. I hope you enjoyed this more than I did and learned something like Go Risk and Linux. So don't forget to share, like, subscribe, Patreon, YouTube membership. Have a good day, night, and I hope to see you soon for hopefully